Yesterday, I told you that there is desperation from Donald Trump and from Republicans to prevent Lev Parnas from testifying at all in Trump's impeachment trial. Lev Parnas is a now indicted henchman of Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani was involved, of course, among other things, in coordinating the physical surveillance of Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch through Lev Parnas. Remember, Rudy admitted he wanted to get Marie Yovanovitch, quote, out of the way of Trump doing his bribery corruption in Ukraine. So we already discussed Republicans are going crazy to prevent Lev Parnas. Now I'm saying it the way it was missaid yesterday. Lev Parnas. Republicans want to prevent Lev's testimony. And in fact, hours of debate yesterday during the impeachment trial was about whether or not witnesses would be discussed before or after the majority of the impeachment trial takes case. Yesterday, I alluded to another panicked concern from the White House, which is John Bolton, one of Donald Trump's now numerous former national security advisors. Bolton, unlike Michael Flynn, not an indicted former national security advisor, just one that was forced out. It will be very difficult to completely prevent John Bolton's testimony. So there are a couple of new strategies that the White House is trying to sort of employ. One is, if Bolton is to testify, negotiating that Bolton testify behind closed doors. Mitch McConnell already sort of previewed this strategy a few days ago. They might try to do this with some witnesses, it was alluded to. Bolton is a firsthand witness to what Donald Trump did. He supervised the National Security Council. He was talking directly to Trump. Bolton is known for taking extensive notes of all conversations with people like President of the United States. They don't want him to testify in public. So one idea that Trump's legal team had is to work with Republican senators about when the discussion finally happens about witnesses, which will apparently now happen after each side has had 24 hours to present their case. The idea is maybe Republicans can concede a Bolton testimony, but argue or lobby for it being behind closed doors as a requirement. And what Republicans are maybe thinking of doing is, if Democrats are going to insist on Bolton testifying, give it to them, but force it behind closed doors. That's sort of potentially trading one nonsense thing for another, which is we'll allow the witness, but we'll force them to testify behind closed doors. Now, importantly, there's no justification for any of what's going on. There's no justification for having 48 hours of arguments before you debate which witnesses will testify. There's no justification for pushing John Bolton behind closed doors. There's no legal precedent. There's no historical precedent, nothing. Second option, which was reported on today, and again, we don't really know where this is all going to end up, trading or sort of conceding that Bolton can testify if they agree to subpoena Joe Biden. And this is something else we talked about early on, which is the subpoena of Joe Biden to Trump's impeachment trial would be a total distraction. We are fine, or we should be fine on the left, talking about the revolving door of elected officials, lobbyists, cushy board positions, and all of that stuff. That's fine. That is not what Trump's impeachment trial is about. Trump's impeachment trial is about his wrongdoing. And that's another idea that is reportedly being floated by Republicans, which is, we'll give you Bolton if you give us Joe Biden, which would be a complete and total distraction. It's almost evil genius. And the big story, of course, is that all of this is about furthering the idea that it is the impeachment existing at all that is the problem. That's what Republicans want to push, rather than the fact that Republicans are participating in the obstruction of this actually being carried out in a reasonable way. They're pushing the idea that it's all too sensitive to happen publicly. It has to be done behind closed doors. I hope that John Bolton just goes public. Bolton has a book that will be published sometime this year before the election. Even if it's just to sell books, I want Bolton to go public with what he knows. If he's worried that he might sell more books by keeping the bombshell revelations only in the book, I think he'll sell way more books by becoming the guy who goes public rather than the guy teasing bombshells you've got to buy the book to see. People will reward him for going public by going out and buying the book, even if they never read it. I hope we see him do it. He's not a good guy, but he may be useful to us in this particular case if he is to simply go public with what he knows and what he saw. Let me know what you think about the John Bolton situation. I'm on Twitter at @dpacman. Big show today. Quick break and back with more right after this.